So we're going to hear from Caitanya Caritamrita today.
Yeah.
Lord Radhayatra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Special treat.
Jai Ho.
Special treat. If we can get the special treat, it'll be good.
Jai.
Where are you from? Gujarat?
Jai. Jai Ho. Jai Ho Maharaj. I have been knowing the Krishna for a long time.
Raja 13119. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. It's all about Radhayatra. Jai Radhayatra ki. Because today is Köln Radhayatra. Anyway, we're singing the song. It's going round like this.
It's running away.
Jaya Radha Madhava Vrindaviya. Jaya Madhava Vrindaviya. Palace of Bhopal King.
Yeah.
I wish Mahavishnu for you so that he can Pakistan Salvati. Goswami Maharaj of Bhopal King. And let's go to Vaishnav in the key. Now we shall Hana Sagugi. And she goes, she Krishna says, and the Bhagavad Nanda. Shri Vaidikadanta Srasati Bhakti in the key. Shri Krishna Gopinath Sham Kunva. Giri Govinda ki, Asura Vrindavan ki, Navadip Mahabhadam ki, Jagannath Puri Nam ki, Iskam Kalon Dam ki, Muna Maya Ganga Maya ki, Harayani Maya ki, Shrimad Josi Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Sri Harinam Sankirtan ki, Sankirtan Yaga ki, Anasana Bhakti Distribution ki, Anasana Prasad Distribution ki, Anasana Cow Protection ki, Jagannath Baladev Rati Ashram Mahamotsav in Cologne today. Ki, Festival Ki, Mahamsam Ki, Jai! Om Brahmanande! All great seven devotees. All great seven devotees. All great seven devotees. Bless the Seeker and Seeker and bless you, Papa. Feel Danka. Thank you, son. After saying the prayer Madhwani, Papa, I wish you to say thank you very much. How do you say in German? Feel Danka or Danke schön?
Vielen Dank.
Feel Danke. No. Can anyone understand what I'm saying? Hands up those who speak English. Okay. So, which is better, Danke schön or Feel Danke?
Vielen Dank. Ohne E. Without E. Vielen Dank.
Feel Dank. Say Dank around here. Okay. It's going to be very exciting today. This purpose will keep us all in mind what's going on. Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo just read the previous verse, just so we get the picture. This is Lord Jagannath, Lord Caitanya, in front of the Madhyalila card of Lord Jagannath. So there's one song. This is a song which is very set the mood of this we sang many songs in front of the Jagannath God. Anyway, I'll just read in English. Having recited all these verses from Scripture, the Lord again offered his obeisances, and all the devotees with folded hands also offered prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu danced and jumped high, moving like a roaring like thunder, and moving in a circle like a wheel, he appeared like a circling firebrand. Wherever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped while dancing, the whole earth with its hills and seas appeared to tilt. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced, he displayed various blissful transcendental changes in his body. Sometimes he appeared as though stunned. Sometimes the hairs of his body stood on end. Sometimes he perspired, cried, trembled, changed color, and sometimes exhibited symptoms of helplessness, pride, exuberance, and humility. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell down with a crash while dancing, he would roll on the ground. At such times it appeared that a golden mountain was rolling on the ground. Nityananda Prabhu would stretch out his two hands and try to catch the Lord, who was running here and there. Advaita Acharya would walk behind the Lord and loudly chant, Haribol, Haribol, again and again. Just to check the crowds from coming too near the Lord, the devotee formed 3 circles. The first circle was guided by Nityananda Prabhu, who is Balaram himself, the possessor of great wealth. All the devotees headed by Kashishwara and Govinda linked hands and formed a second circle around the Lord. Maharaj Prataprudra and his personal assistants formed a third circle around the 2 inner circles just to take the crowds from coming in too near. With his hands on the shoulders of Harichandra, King Prataprudra could see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing, and the king felt great ecstasy. While the king beheld the dancing, Srivas Thakur, standing in front of him, became ecstatic as he saw the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srivas Thakur was standing in front of the king Prataprudra. Seeing Srivas Thakur standing before the king, Harichandana touched Srivas with his hand and requested him to step aside. He was standing in front of the king. Right? Absorbed in watching Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dance, Srivas Thakur could not understand why he was being touched and pushed. After he was pushed again and again, he became angry. Srivas Thakur slapped Harichandra to stop him from pushing him. In turn, this made Harichandra angry. As the angered Harichandra was about to speak to Srivas Thakur, Prataprudra Maharaj personally stopped him. King Prataprudra said, "You are very fortunate, for you have been graced by the touch of Srivas Thakur. I am not so fortunate. You should feel obliged to him." Everyone was astonished by the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and even Lord Jagannath became extremely happy to see him. The car came to a complete standstill and remained immobile, while Lord Jagannath, with unblinking eyes, watched the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The goddess of fortune, Subhadra, and Lord Balaram both felt great happiness and ecstasy within their hearts. Indeed, they were seen smiling at the dancing. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced and jumped high, 8 wonderful transformations indicative of divine ecstasy were seen in his body. All these symptoms were visible simultaneously. His skin erupted with goose pimples, and the hairs of his body stood on end, resembling the simuli silk cotton tree, all covered with thorns. Indeed, the people became afraid just to see his teeth chatter, and they even thought that his teeth would fall out. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's whole body flowed with perspiration, and at the same time oozed blood. He made the sounds in a voice choked with ecstasy. Tears came forcibly from the eyes of the Lord, as if from a syringe, and all the people surrounding him became wet. Everyone saw the complexion of his body change from white to pink, so that his luster resembled that of the malika flower. Sometimes he appeared stunned, sometimes he rolled on the ground. Indeed, sometimes his legs and hands became as hard as dry wood, and he did not move. When the Lord fell to the ground, sometimes his breathing almost stopped. When the devotees saw this, their lives also became very feeble. Water flowed from his eyes, and sometimes through his nostrils, and foam fell from his mouth. These flowings appeared to be torrents of nectar descending from the moon. The foam that fell from the mouth of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu was taken and drunk by Supananda because he was very fortunate and expert in relishing the mellow of his ecstatic love of Krishna. After Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu had performed his devastating dance for some time, his mind entered a mood of ecstatic love. After abandoning the dancing, the Lord ordered Swarup Damodar to sing. Understanding his mind, Swarup Damodar began to sing as follows. So this is important. I'll sing this one. Seita Parnanatha Painu Yalagi Madanadane Juri Genu. Now this is a quotation. Now I have gained the Lord of my life, in the absence of whom I was being burned by Cupid and was withering away. Purport. This song refers to Srimati Radharani's meeting with Krishna at the holy place of Kurukshetra, where Lord Sri Krishna and his brother and sister came to visit when there was a solar eclipse. It is a song of separation from Krishna. When Radharani met Krishna at Kurukshetra, she remembered his intimate association in Vrindavan, and she thought, now I have gained the Lord of my life. In his absence, I was being burned by the arrow of Cupid, and thus I was withering away. Now I have my life again. When this song was loudly sung by Swarup Damodar, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu again began rhythmically dancing in transcendental bliss. The car of Lord Jagannath began to move slowly, while the son of Mother Sachi, Lord Chaitanya, went ahead and danced in front. While dancing and singing, all the devotees in front of Lord Jagannath kept their eyes on him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then went to the end of the procession with the Sankirtan performers. His eyes and mind fully absorbed in Lord Jagannath, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to play the drama of the song with his two arms. That song we heard, Radharani feeling separation from Krishna and meeting Krishna again at Kurukshetra. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dramatically enacting the song, he would sometimes fall behind the Rath Yatra cart in the procession. At such times, Lord Jagannath would come to a standstill. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again went forward, Lord Jagannath's car would slowly start again. That's today's text. Mata Gaurashyame Donhe Tela Teli Swarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali Mata Gaurashyam Dani Tela Teli Swarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali
Swarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali
Mata Gaurashyame Dani Tela Teli
Mata Gaurashyame Dani Tela Teli
Swarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali
Swarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali
Mata Gaurashyame Dani Tela Teli
Mata Gaurashyame Dani Tela Teli
Swarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali
Swarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali
Mata Gaurashyame
Gaurashame Donatella Teri.
Hey Mata Gaurashame Donatella Teri.
Sarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali.
Sarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali.
Hey Mata Gaurashame Donatella Teri.
Hey Mata Gaurashame Donatella Teri.
Svarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali.
Sarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali. Emata Gora Shame Donatella Teri. Emata Gora Shame Donatella Teri. Svarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali. Svarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali. Emata Gora Shame Donatella Teri. Svarate Shamere Rake Gora Mahabali.
Emata. In this way. Gaura Shame. Lord Jagannath and Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Done between both of them. Tela Teli. Competition of pushing forward. Svarate. In his own car. Shamere. Lord Jagannath. Rake. Keeps. Gaura. Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahabali. Translation and Prabhupada by ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Mahavishnu Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada King. Thus, there was a sort of competition between Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath in seeing who would lead. But Caitanya Mahaprabhu was so strong that he made Lord Jagannath wait in his car. Please repeat. Thus there was a sort of competition between Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath in seeing who would lead. But Caitanya Mahaprabhu was so strong that he made Lord Jagannath wait in his car. Now there's a long purport. In his Anubhashya, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati describes the ecstasy of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu as follows. Ready? After giving up the company of the gopis in Vrindavan, Sri Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda, engaged in his pastimes at Dwarka. When Krishna went to Kurukshetra with his brother and sister and others from Dwarka, he again met the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is Radha Bhava Jyoti Suvalita. Thus, he is Krishna himself, assuming the part of Srimati Radharani in order to understand Krishna. Lord Jagannath Dev is Krishna, and Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Srimati Radharani. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's leading Lord Jagannath toward the Gundicha temple corresponded to Srimati Radharani's leading Krishna towards Vrindavan. Yes. Sri Kshetra Jagannath Puri was taken as the kingdom of Dwarka, the place where Krishna enjoys supreme opulence. But he was being led by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan, the simple village where all inhabitants are filled with ecstatic love for Krishna. Sri Kshetra is a place of Aishwarya Lila, which is opulence, just as Vrindavan is a place of Madhurya Lila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was following at the rear of the Raj. indicated that Lord Jagannath, Krishna, was forgetting the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Although Krishna neglected the inhabitants of Vrindavan, he could not forget them. Thus, in the opulent Rath Yatra, he was returning to Vrindavan. In the role of Srimati Radharani, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was examining whether the Lord still remembered the inhabitants of Vrindavan. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell behind the Rath cart, Jagannath Dev, Krishna himself, understood the mind of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, Jagannath sometimes fell behind the dancing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to indicate to Srimati Radharani that he had not forgotten. Thus, Lord Jagannath would stop the forward march of the Rath car and wait at a standstill. In this way, Lord Jagannath agreed that without the ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, he could not feel satisfied. While Jagannath was thus waiting, Gaurasundara, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his ecstasy of Srimati Radharani, immediately came forward to Krishna. At such times, Lord Jagannath would proceed ahead very slowly. These competitive exchanges were all part of a loving affair between Krishna and Srimati Radharani. In that competition between Lord Chaitanya's ecstasy for Jagannath and Jagannath's ecstasy for Srimati Radharani, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emerged successful. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Gana Simrandasya Yananjana Salakaya Chakshuramitam Tena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manubhistam Avitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we're having the Jagannath Rath Yatra Festival in Cologne, Germany. And we have also all over the world this festival. Lord Jagannath, Jagat means the universe, or universe is the creation. Nath means the Lord. So, although we are hearing this very confidential discussion of Radharani and Lord Jagannath, generally this won't be understandable by people. It's impossible for people in general to understand what we've been hearing. And because we're chanting Hare Krishna, we're following some rules and regulations, we're serving Srila Prabhupada, then going to our understanding, this description touches our hearts, because Krishna is giving Tesham Satata Yuktanam Vajatam Pratipurvakam Tadame Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Upayantite. Because as devotees, we're trying to get back to Krishna. Tadame Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenamam Upayantite. We want to go back to God and go back to Krishna. But this is taking place in a public place in Sri Kshetra Jagannath Puri. And Lord Chaitanya is the incarnation of Krishna in the mood of Radharani. So what is the purpose of Krishna? Parachanaya sadhunam vinashaya yudhiskritam dharma samstapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge yada yada hi dharmasya gani bhavati bharata adhutanama dharmasya tadam anashita. So Krishna comes in order to please the devotees, to save the devotees, to curb down the demons, and to establish principles of religion for a particular age when people have forgotten the purpose of life, the goal of life. In the Shastastakam, we hear Chaitanya Baba Mahavishnu. So this is the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to cleanse the heart of the whole world. Chaitanya, the mirror of the heart. So why? Baba Mahavishnu Baba. So the burning fire of material existence will be stopped. And Prabhupada, of course, the spiritual master. Samsara Dava, Lalita Loka, Pranaya Karunya, Kalaganata, Praptasya Kalyana, Gunapasa, Vandevaro Sri Chaitanya. The spiritual master is receiving mercy from the ocean of mercy. And just as the rain cloud pours water on the forest fire to extinguish it, so the spiritual master is extinguishing the blazing fire of material existence. So the same description is there. And everyone is burning, you know. What's that verse in that song? Hari Hari, Vifale Janame Ganaino. Samsara Visanale, Dibyanishi, Iyajvale, Jureti Nakainu, Upaya. This is samsara. Unfortunately, people don't even know. People in general don't even know they're in samsara. Mishimaya Dvali, Kachaha, floating up and down in the ocean of material existence. Sometimes up, sometimes down, up and down. I was just hearing a class by Prabhupada in 1966. It's amazing. He says, we're like footballs. Do you ever feel like a football? No. Actually, Prabhupada was saying, we're just footballs. We've been kicked by what? Sometimes we're American, sometimes we're kicked to be Chinese, sometimes kicked to be German, sometimes kicked to be a frog, sometimes kicked to be a tree. In the ocean of material existence. How can people understand this? They don't even believe in reincarnation, let alone football reincarnation. How can you understand you're a football? We kick from life to life. We don't even know we don't even know this, but we're not this body, people in general. It took me years and years before I heard Prabhupada's words, you're not this body. Click. Why didn't someone tell me that before? Why my mother didn't tell me that? Mommy, where do we come from? I asked my mother. Well, when Mommy and Daddy kiss. That's what my mother said. She was MA PhD in English literature. She'd read so many books, but she'd never heard from Srila Prabhupada. She'd never heard the absolute truth in a proper process. So there, you know, she could have told me, my dear boy, don't you know you're changing bodies from lifetime after life? Now you're my son, but previously you were someone else's son. And if you're not careful, in the next life, you'll be someone else's son or daughter. Like that. So people are totally in ignorance about this purpose of human life. They don't know the goal of life is to go back to Godhead. And they're just stuck on the cinema screen of material existence. And Prabhupada explains this, we're just doing the tune, lifetime after lifetime, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. We think we're having a good time. So how can this be understood? Well, we're sitting in this room in Köln, there's a few of us, and there's millions of people out there who've got no idea what's going on. They think we're crazy. We think they're crazy. So Hare Krishnas are crazy. And we think we think they're crazy because, you know, suffering, birth, old age, disease and death. Repeatedly, during the tube, seems crazy. You know, even in our own life, you know, we tried to enjoy sex so many times, but then we never, it took a long time to realize this is not going to satisfy my soul. It's not going to satisfy me. We tried intoxication so many times until we realized this is a dead end. If I don't stop this intoxication, it'll just stop me. You know. If I don't, you know, searching for good food, you know, searching for defense. That's what's going on in Ukraine war and Russian war. Everyone's trying to defend themselves. Eating, sleeping, waiting and defending. Why? Because we don't know we're not this body. We're eternal spirit soul. So how will people understand ever? Unless mercy comes. The mercy of Lord Caitanya. And Lord Caitanya loved this Rath Yatra festival. You could see, every year, 18 years, he stayed in Jagannath Puri. Every year he joined in the Rath Yatra festival and displayed his ecstatic symptoms of love of Krishna. And the devotees used to come from Navadvip, Mayapur. Hey, whoa, Gauranga! They used to come, Lord Caitanya, Lord Nityananda used to be there at Jagannath Puri, dancing and singing. And the devotees came and waited to Chaya Shiva Thakur. Everyone was, you know, they used to walk from Navadvip. Take it like a couple of weeks walking. You know, there's so many stories. And so what is Krishna saying to us about Rath Yatra festival? He's saying, well, this dancing and chanting and singing is the way to preach, to pour the rain cloud of mercy upon the fallen conditioned souls. This is the way, this is the day Jagannath comes out on the street of Cologne, and many streets. We're going to Lord New York's Rath Yatra. We go to many Rath Yatras, and everyone should go to as many Rath Yatras as they can. Some of you devotees have come a long way to join the Rath Yatra. Why? Because, you know, we want to get the mercy of Lord Jagannath for distributing the holy name and the prasad and giving to the people. The people don't know what's going on. They're in darkness. And this is actually the purpose of Rath Yatra. On this day, Lord Jagannath comes out on the street, and we do our pastimes as best as we can. We dance and sing. We try and engage people, pull the rope, and then there's a stage program, there's prasanam, we give a talk, there's the books, to open up. The Hare Krishna, not just crazy. We don't just live in a little house in Cologne, but we want to go out and meet people and teach the people, attract the people, let them understand Lord Jagannath, that there is a Lord of the universe. Otherwise, atheism means there's no Lord of the universe. What do you mean, Lord of the universe? That's what they think. Most people. There's no God. What is this? And that's the old-fashioned, that's the Bible. No. There's no God. This is the mood of the day. And you are God. You can enjoy it. You make the most of it. Your life is short. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you die. This is what life's all about. What do you mean, Lord of the universe? Lord of the universe was a big bang, don't you know? A big explosion. There was nothing, and something came out of nothing. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? Something can come from nothing. It's simple. That's what you learn at college and school. Something comes from nothing. And Hare Krishna is the same. You're crazy. How can something come from nothing? Something comes from something. I'm a person. I love, I eat, I sleep. So you think that something is coming, that something which everything comes from doesn't have a form, quality, personality, affairs, loving affairs, pastimes, landscape, color, variety. It doesn't make sense what the scientists are telling. The demons, the Rakshasas, they're teaching people to become more and more sinful, and they can become more and more unhappy. The Hare Krishna festival is not like that. We're teaching you to be joyful, dance and sing, be happy, and go back to God. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai! Thank you very much. Any questions, please? Won't bore you any longer, because prasadam is coming up. What time's prasadam? What time's prasadam? 9 o'clock. We've got time for questions. Okay. What's questions in German? Language.
Fragen.
Huh?
Fragen.
Fragen? Fragen? Okay. Eine kleine Fragen. Eine kleine Fragenspende. That makes sense. That was my German mantra. Das ist für Sie. Das ist wunderschön und Schichter aus Indien von 5000 Jahren. Wonderful stories from India 5,000 years ago. I used to sell books in Berlin, Berlin Marathon. And then eine kleine Spende gave me. Okay, question, Fragen. Manager was first.
What would you say in a few words to people who know nothing about Ratha-yatra and who ask what is this all about?
Thank you. Well, Prabhupada many times said, this is a festival to commemorate the solar eclipse 5,000 years ago, when Krishna went there, and he met his childhood parents there, and it's a historical, it's a commemorative festival to commemorate the meeting of Krishna when he was older, and his childhood friends and sweethearts. You say something like that. That's one way you could say many things. What do you think about that? Prabhupada said like this right now. There's esoteric, this is like historical reference. But you could say also that's a spiritual festival, it's a form of yoga, Bhakti yoga, so everyone can participate. Yoga means to connect. You can participate in this festival, pulling the rope and seeing the forms of God, and you can come to our stage program and take part in Bhakti yoga. It's another thing you could say. What would you say, Mary?
Well, this is an ancient festival celebrated all over the world, especially it came from Jagannath Puri, where millions of people join, and it's very auspicious to see this form of God. And please take part and pull the rope and take prasad and something like that.
Yeah, nice, very, very nice. Harimananda, in a nutshell, how would you put it in a nut, the Jagannath festival?
Put it in a nut. Put Jagannath in the nut. You know,
You were mine.
No, it's
Anyone
okay.
mind?
It's okay.
Loudly.
We are Jai.
Did you want to die again?
Jai. So God's in the temple, but we take God on the streets, and when you pull the ropes, you're pulling God to your heart.
Oh, that's yeah. Putting God to our heart. Oh, that's amazing. Generally, they take out the Lord from the temple and to the streets, and then people can pull God into their hearts. Very short, sweet. Any more suggestions? How to describe Rath Yatra?
I had actually the same question like her, but something came in my mind. One guy on the street, he asked me once during the festival, what is this deity on the altar? And I told him it's God in ecstasy. And he really loved it. And next year I met him again on a festival, and he had a tattoo of Lord Jagannath. God in ecstasy.
But Krishna's in ecstasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Krishna's feeling separation from inhabitants of Vrindavan. Actually, in Kathmandu, or Nepal, there's another town next to Kathmandu in Nepal, 3 cities in Kathmandu Valley. One is called Bhaktapur. And there we have taken over, more or less taken over one temple, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. But they're in the Dwaka forms. They're very tall, they're carved out of stone. They're very beautiful. But it's Krishna before he feels separation. Dwaka Krishna. We're worshipping him. Yeah.
How old are they?
Oh, 500 years old. 500 years old. Is there any more questions about the verse and the class? What about, you've all heard the story of the first Rath Yatra, right? You all know that, right? It's ISKCON history, right? The first ISKCON Rath Yatra. Who doesn't know? Everybody knows. No point in talking. It's like chewing. When was the first Rath Yatra in Germany? Anybody can say? It was in Hamburg? Papa went to Hamburg first, right? In the 70s. Anybody know his kind of history? There's a book, right? Prabhupada in Germany. Anyone read that? I haven't read it, but we have it here. Prabhupada in Germany. Very nice book.
No. 9.
You can it's in my room. Where's the key, Sunny?
Hey.
Let's hear about the first Rath Yatra in Germany. Sunny!
He's coming.
Where's the key?
Jack.
There's so many books in my room, Maharaj's room. I'm sure it's there, it must be there.
Prabhupada in Germany? Yeah.
Is Prabhupada in someone in Germany? Someone should help him. Some local devotee going to help him. Yeah. And what number of Rath Yatras is in Cologne?
There's no one from.
All devotees from here are in
They're all serving.
the local
They're
area
all serving.
in full service.
They're getting the car ready. Yeah. This is number 10 or 15, 20. We don't know. So someone asked me a question, please. I'm asking you questions. Someone asked me a
You'll
question.
find out.
And we can just take Prasan. Prasan won't even be ready, so.
You have 15 minutes, maybe.
See if we can find a book we can hear about. Vaisrathiyats in Germany. So, yeah. Prabhupada, you've all heard about Prabhupada and Rathayatra when he was a child. Because in Calcutta, Rathayatra is a popular festival in Calcutta. Calcutta is many miles away from Puri, but many children, they do Rathayatra, and many districts, they have their own Rathayatra on the Rathayatra day. Maybe you don't know that. Something maybe you don't know. There are many districts in Calcutta. It's a huge city. And every city, every district has its own Rathayatra on that day. Yeah. But ISKCON is the best. Sometimes it's the best. One year, there was a very bad thing happened. You want to hear that?
Yeah.
Now you're interested. His name is, shouldn't mention his name, but what's that verse about Govardhan? Glorifying Govardhan, yeah. The main verse, the gopis sing about Govardhan, yeah. Anyway, everything's gone from my mind now. Anyway, they would distribute a huge amount of prasadam at Calcutta Rathayatra ISKCON in a big meadow, thousands and thousands of people. But the khichdi was too old. And it's very warm in Calcutta. And many, many people got sick after taking the khichdi. Yeah. That was a rather low point. Adri. Sometime Adri Abala Haridasa, and he was Adri Dana, he was the temple president. And somehow or other, we didn't time it properly. In Trafalgar Square, and Parasuram usually cooks for Rathayatra, there's the health and security people come around to test whether the khichdi or whatever is being served is a high temperature. Because if it's not high temperature, it means there's bugs inside. It could have decomposed. And it could be cholera, it could be any disease. So the health and security come here for our festival. For German efficiency, you must check, no?
Maybe.
A lot of prasadam. In London they come and check.
No, they are not good.
They have special thermometer. Thermometer they stick into the kitchen to make sure it's the right temperature. Yeah.
Now they use a gun.
Yeah. How's that book? Maybe it's in the folio. I can have a look. Books by devotees. Srila Prabhupada and his disciples in Germany by Vedavyas. Okay, we've got it here in the Veda base. The first visit of Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Finally, on August the 21st, the telegram arrived at Pendorfer, Weg 2, with the long-awaited message. Arriving Hamburg, flight 409, Lufthansa, August 25th, at 6:10 a.m. Bhakti Swami. What year was that? Shivananda Das. We didn't know very well how to receive Srila Prabhupada. We put down a rug in the airport's arrival hall and sat down and held the kirtan. Vasudev Das. The role of the spiritual master wasn't clear to me. Jai Govinda had brought a painting of Prabhupada from India, but there he looked so thin and sick that I had definitely difficulty appreciating his transcendental qualities. We offered obeisances and continued to chant, and his smile indicated that he was pleased with our effort to give him a befitting reception by just chanting the holy name. It's a long book, so how do we find out? Anyway.
Maybe Guru.
Hmm?
Maybe Guru will know. Just write first rata I tried German.
Why don't you Google it then, you guys?
Google
Why don't
it.
you help me?
It's the Google
I'm
guys.
sitting all alone here and having a tough time.
They try. It's not showing.
Yes. Google it. Google it.
Maybe problem. How many is this number? Total, please. What is number? This one.
In Cologne?
I don't think anyone speaks English here, it's my computer.
Keshava started in 2000.
Vedavyasa. A new beginning, Exodus of the raid, or describes the raid when the police attacked Shloshresatov.
2007 or 2008, I think.
Festival time, maybe it's this chapter. The Amsterdam mess. You've all heard about that. The mess in Amsterdam. And Prabhupada tried to install Lord Jagannath in Amsterdam. And then the next chapter is called Festival Time.
42 years ago, but this is put up 2011, 42 years back, yes, 70, 69 now. So, just
was first in Hamburg.
2008 maybe. Going. Give you 5 minutes.
Any more questions, please? Okay. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra.
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 Jagannatha Swami, Nayana Pachagami, Nayana Pachagami, Bhavatu me.
Jagannatha Swami, Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Bhavatu me.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
This artificial intelligence program. This is the new thing.
Very good.
Yes, it's quick.
How many in Cologne?
How many?
Yeah.
I will try to find out.
1969.
Just great. Just great. Success. I hope I can join today with a good thing.